For the people that are leaving MAGA, I need you to understand that the reason why you are not being welcomed with open arms is that nothing fundamentally about how you feel has changed. You just no longer feel like the commander-in-chief has you and your best interests at heart. You don't all of a sudden have compassion and empathy for others, for marginalized groups. You're just mad because things are expensive and you believed him when he said he was going to make everything affordable. You could still care less about black and brown people or people who just simply have an accent, being racially profiled, being chased down in their cars, being afraid to leave their homes. You still could care less about human beings. You're just mad because you feel like he lied to you. He betrayed you. And now you're like, I'm one of you. No, you're not. Because our vote was never about the cost of eggs. Yours was. Not to mention your racism, sexism, bigotry, racial superiority, especially if you are a third-time voter. Because the only reason why you're not voting for him again is because you can't. You never cared and you still don't. But you're tired of being ostracized. You're tired of losing friends. You're tired of people not wanting to come around you for the holidays. And now you're tired of it. So now all of a sudden it's like, I want to be one of you now. It doesn't work that way. Because fundamentally, those same bigoted hatred views are still the views that you hold. But now you're asking for compassion from the same people that you showed no compassion for. Instead of looking for sympathy, you should be looking for other people who left MAGA. Those are your people.
So it's safe to say that the Trump administration is vying to be the administration with the highest rate of unemployment in U.S. history. Right now, under Joe Biden, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. But the Trump administration have already announced that they plan to cost Americans 700,000 jobs, just deplete them, just fire all those federal workers. They say they're going to impose a trade war with Canada and Mexico that's going to cost between 400,000 to 700,000 jobs for Americans. Not to mention that they plan to deplete the workforce of our nation's farms, bakeries, factories, restaurants, construction sites. So cause a lot of people not to be able to put food on their family's table, to be able to provide for the homes that they live in, to be able to have a nest egg, to be able to contribute to the U.S. Social Security Fund, which hundreds of billions of dollars is contributed by not just Americans, but also undocumented people. Just like to cripple the economy, to make people suffer. It's the suffering unemployment administration the Trump administration is. That's what we got coming for us.
Trump promised tariffs will make America stronger, bring factories home, lower deficits, and protect workers. By 2026, many supporters say something is very different. There are higher prices, there are lost jobs, there are shrinking retirement benefits, and now even some of the Trump biggest backers are sounding the alarm.
No tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. And I'm announcing a new policy today that I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time that they were recognized, right? We have a lot of people, they followed us, but we're going to do something. The ladies can tell you what we're going to do. We're going to drill a baby drill. And I will terminate the Green New Scam, and we'll cut your energy prices in half, 50%, within 1 year from January 20th. Is the fake news hearing that? Whoa!
During the campaign and after returning to power, Trump sold them tariff as economic weapon. Tax foreign goods, punish China, force companies to manufacture in America, support what he believed it will create working class revival. Tariff will pay everything. But the tariff don't actually tax foreign countries. They mostly tax Americans, importers, and consumers. And by 2026, that cost is showing up everywhere.
I'm seeing more and more people online saying, well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote to lose my job, and I didn't vote for a global trade war, and I didn't vote for Elon Musk to run amok in the government, slashing agencies and cutting jobs, and I didn't vote to see America's allies cast aside Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course you voted for that. You were perfectly happy to see all that happen as long as it didn't happen to you. And now that the leopard is eating your face, suddenly you've changed your tune. Well, you get no sympathy from me. You voted for that. You wanted that. So you sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't care what happens to you. I just want you to feel the pain that you brought on yourself, because that is the only way you can learn.
After the massive 2025 reciprocal tariffs rollout, something called liberation day tariffs, average US tariff rates surged to the highest level in nearly a century. And what followed were higher grocery prices, electronics getting more expensive, car prices climbing up, and market losing trillions in values. And some economic estimates suggest households are paying between $1,000 to $3,800 per year because of tariff related cost. And that's what is hitting. The working class families are hit hardest. Now, one of the most surprising critics came from inside Trump's own camp. Billionaires investor Bill Ackman, who supported Trump in 2024, warned the tariffs could trigger what he called an economic nuclear. He argued policies shocked markets, damages businesses and confidence, and risk pushing the economy towards recession. And online, the regret stories started spreading, especially in communities like Leopards at Ate My Face, where former supporters share their experience. Example, we voted to lower pricery, now grocers are insane. Another person quoted, tariffs destroyed my contracting business. Another supporter who said, my retirement account dropped after the market crash. And we voted for protection, not this. And polls are also showing the growing frustration of Americans. On late 2025 survey found that fewer than 1 in 5 Americans said Trump policies made them financially better off.
So the price of everything is about to go up. Yes, we know that the tariffs have made the prices at the store already increase, but now we are going to see a second wave of inflation because of this war that Donald Trump has started. Many of you guys already know that they have now closed the Strait of Hormuz, which manages about 20% of the daily oil supply. This is going to cause our prices at the pump to skyrocket. And with skyrocketing gas prices comes skyrocketing prices at these stores, because it takes gas to move products around to all of these stores. At this point, the Republican Party has to be self-sabotaging. I don't know any other answer for what is being done here. I mean, you guys literally ran on lowering the prices of groceries and then voted for a man who's done one of two of the only things that a president can do to directly cause inflation: the blanket tariffs and starting a fucking war. This is just self-sabotage. There's no other answer. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You want my face again? Thank you. Goodbye.
Now, here's the core problem. Tariffs are essentially import taxes. When companies pay more to import materials or products, they usually pass those costs to customers. That means higher prices at the grocery stores, higher prices at the car dealers, higher prices at hardware stores, higher prices at electronic retails. And economists estimate around 90% of tariffs are ultimately paid by Americans. So the policy meant to protect workers often end up functioning like a hidden consumer tax. Now, the biggest promise behind tariff was simple: bring manufacturing jobs back to America. But so far, the results have been mixed. Some industries gained temporary protection, but many businesses that rely on import part faced higher costs. They faced layoff, and some even closed. Now, for many voters, the gap between promise and reality is where frustration began. For supporters who believe tariffs will bring economic relief, the rising prices and the market shocks feel like a big betrayal. For some, it's the moment they started asking, was the promise ever realistic? Now, guys, if economic struggles or our rising prices made you question things, share a thought, your story in the comment because you are not alone. Many of the Americans, many of mega supporters are experiencing this or they experience this, and that's why many of them chose to leave the movement or the cult like movement. And Donald Trump right now is proving to not be the man who cannot be dependent. Or what do you think, guys? Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Peace.
Iran war update Friday, March 6th. Bad economic news for Americans as job numbers were terrible last month. We lost 92,000 jobs when it was expected that jobs would grow. Unemployment has also risen. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. 20% of the world's oil and a significant amount of natural gas goes through the straits. Prices are spiking. Supply is dropping. Kuwait, for example, has begun cutting production at some oil fields after running out of room to store its bottled up crude. Oil prices may go up another 50%. That's 50, according to the Financial Times. Qatar expects all Gulf energy producers to shut down exports within weeks and drive oil to $150 a barrel. The country's energy minister told the Financial Times everybody that has not called for force majeure is going to in the next few days. Oil prices are already up 20% this week. Gas prices are also going up this morning. Gasoline, the U.S. average gasoline price just hit $3.32 a gallon, up 11% in 5 days. U.S. gas prices are now higher than at any time during either of Trump's 2 terms. Trump may have made things worse, according to the Financial Times. Trump's decision not to refill the strategic petroleum reserve stockpile, drained by his predecessor Joe Biden, has left consumers exposed to an oil price shock following the attacks. There are also reports that the Trump administration did not start looking for ways to calm the oil and gas markets until days after the invasion of Iran, because apparently they thought oil and gas prices wouldn't spike. How serious is the energy crisis? Qatar's energy minister told the Financial Times that war in the Middle East could bring down the economies of the world. He says it will hit growth, push up energy bills, and lead to shortages of products. He added that even if the war ended immediately, it would take Qatar weeks to months to return to normal deliveries after their plant was bombed by the Iranians. Trump has said he would ensure global shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz by providing insurance. The problem is the Financial Times now says the U.S. doesn't have enough money in the budget, at least what was budgeted, for Trump to do this. Also, what ship is going to want to go through the Strait of Hormuz if they're going to get blown up? Insurance covering the product doesn't really help if you die. Regime change is back on the table. Trump tweeted this morning on his social media platform that the war with Iran will not end until the regime changes and he gets to pick the new leader. That is yet another new goal that Trump has added to this war. U.S. CENTCOM says the war is likely to last through September at least. That's a good 7 more months. That is $200 billion to $400 billion price tag at current prices of $1 to $2 billion a day. Asked whether Americans should be concerned about retaliatory attacks by Iranian hit squads at home in America, Trump said, I guess. He went on to say, but I think they're worried about that all the time. We think about it all the time. We plan for it. But yeah, we expect some things. Like I said, some people will die. When you go to war, some people will die. Russia is providing Iran with targeting information to attack American forces in the Middle East, according to the Washington Post. This comes on the heels of the news that Trump yesterday listed partial sanctions against Russia for oil put on them because of the invasion of Ukraine. The U.S. military believes U.S. forces were likely responsible for the attack on a girls' school in Iran that may have killed 160 or more girls. Was it AI targeting error? U.S. B-2 bombers dropped 2,000-pound bombs in the last few hours on underground Iranian ballistic missile sites, according to the Pentagon. The war polls are terrible. This is the worst ever support for any American war. When it started, the average of all the polls is just 38% support of Americans for the war, 49% disapproval. We are getting mixed signals from the Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar, as to whether they're supporting the war. They are reportedly threatening to put economic pressure on the Trump administration by withdrawing the investments they promised to make, the billions of dollars of investments that they promised Trump during his visit last year. Bloomberg reports that people in the UAE are beginning to criticize the U.S. attack on Iran, but The Economist reports, on the other hand, that Gulf states are advising Trump to stay the course. So who knows? The UAE has frozen billions in Iranian assets following Iran launching 9 ballistic missiles and 112 drones at that Gulf country. Trump is closing multiple U.S. embassies in the Middle East, even before U.S. citizens have been evacuated. Typically, the embassy is the last thing to close after they get the citizens out. Will China take advantage of Trump's war in attacking Taiwan? That's the concern right now among some analysts, is that China may say, you know what, U.S. is occupied and U.S. is now getting its weapons, using its weapons, having fewer weapons left because we're using them in Iran. Is now the time for China to go after Taiwan when the U.S. is unprepared. Finally, generic fall ballot for the election in the Congress from Emerson. Democrats 48%, Republicans 42%. What's interesting about that is previously Republicans were up 10% in December. Now they're down 4% to Democrats. I'm John Aravosis. Thanks for joining us. Spread the word and follow.